leaders, Israeli soldiers, Israeli generals would be prosecuted. And yes, there certainly would be Al-Qassam brigade commanders and Hamas militants in general and Hamas leadership in general, Islamic Jihad leadership in general, that would also be investigated and prosecuted for the war crimes that they committed. Because the reality is, yes, October 7 was filled to the fucking brim with war crimes. Like that's crazy. The idea that no war crimes occurred on October 7 is ridiculous, okay? It is not something that I believe. It is something that I have openly said time and time again. Now, of course, that is very different from the inception of why this kind of violence occurs, which is if we are being even-headed and being honest and reasonable, you would arrive at the same conclusion that I have arrived at on October 8th, which is that the occupying entity sets the standard of violence, and therefore 75 years of oppression, 75 years of struggle against that oppression is of course always going to inevitably yield very violent retaliation. Here's the thing. The ICC going after Israeli leadership is unimaginable. I cannot think of a single fucking instance in the history of the ICC or the ICJ as well, but certainly in the ICC, where someone who is an active collaborator with the American government, that is getting political cover from the American government, that has ever been prosecuted like this, that has ever had even an application for their arrest warrants, ever. Sure, maybe there might be like a person who did collaborate with the Americans at a certain point that we no longer have use for, that might have an arrest warrant later down the line, but not actively while they are currently engaging in the acts, and certainly not while America is offering open political cover for said acts. A unimaginably huge change of attitude, an unimaginably huge change of global politics, in my opinion. It spells that the American hegemony is in its final stage. This is massively important, in my opinion. And not because like I think that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to go to jail or anything. I don't think that like Interpol is going to arrest him. They're going to intercept his travel and arrest him alongside like Yoav Gallant and, you know, prosecute him and then he's going to go to jail or some shit. I don't believe that at all. I do, however, think that, like I said, the not to be too much of an optics guy, but I do believe that the optics of this situation spells trouble for the American State Department. Like they have to see the writing on the wall. It will also massively impact Israel's ability to conduct diplomacy if the arrest warrants are issued, as they won't be able to travel to Rome Statute signatory nations. The U.S. isn't a signatory. However, if they are voted out, the next Israeli leadership won't likely be affected. Yeah, this has created, and this is not just me saying this. I'm some random dickhead Twitch streamer. Make no mistake. There are people in the American State Department whose only interest is not like saving Palestinian lives by any means. Like they don't give a shit about that at all. But whose only interest is the continuation of American empire, who also saw this reality. That if they continue without any restraint whatsoever, giving the go-ahead to Israel, that this would actually shake the standing and the confidence that the international community has in America's control, America's global dominance and America's control. Israeli Foreign Minister Katz asked AIPAC leaders to work with Congress against the ICC decision. See? Open foreign interference in American domestic affairs, American foreign policy. Oh, shit.
Prosecutor.
CNN interviewed him? Oh, my God. Christian Amanpour? What is happening right now? There are decades where nothing happens, and then there are weeks where decades happen. Among 124 countries, Germany is a signatory to the Rome Statute. Would they arrest Bibi? Are they obliged to? Well, that would be awesome. What makes it even funnier is that the bald guy was Israel's choice to be the lead, to be the head prosecutor. America also petitioned for him to be the head prosecutor. I think you're hyping this up too much, unfortunately. Guys, I don't think that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to get fucking arrested. Calm down. I've never said that I personally believe that Benjamin Netanyahu is going to get fucking packed up, or Yoav Gallant. I'm simply stating that this is a change of pace, at least for the time being, a major change of pace from the way that international organs of justice have operated as an arm of American imperialism. The fact that they are even petitioning to start the arrest warrant process, the fact that they're even applying for it is unironically a major shift. The reason why, when the ICC put out an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin due to war crimes in Bucha specifically, and also his unjustifiable invasion of Ukraine, the reason why we did not, like, I didn't think of it as anything super significant was because he is already outside of the sphere of influence of America. He is already a foreign adversary. That was a correct decision from the ICC, mind you, but that doesn't really matter. That is inconsequential because that is just the court operating alongside American interests. This is perhaps one of the first instances where the court is operating against American interests. That's why I always say sanctions often don't work against foreign adversaries, but do work against our allies because our allies do not suspect it. They do not craft their entire economy and the entire mode of existence around potentially getting sanctioned by the United States of America in the way that, like, countries outside of the sphere of influence of the United States and the Western world do.
So does this mean that if an arrest warrant is granted, any country that is a signatory to the ICC would have an obligation to arrest Netanyahu if he sets foot in their country?
Absolutely, yes. It's very clearly what it means.
So this could massively restrict his ability to act as an international leader?
It could and it should, yes.
Can't stress enough that this is just the application. It could take months for the court to decide. However, oh my God, will I be the happiest lad in the land if Bibi and Sarah Netanyahu will no longer be able to go to their retirement vacations in Europe. One of Bibi's corruption cases has to do with bribery via hundreds and hundreds of expensive champagne bottles, and now he may have to drink all of them alone in his basement instead of abroad. Yeah, this is an application. It could get denied still. I will talk about, like, the worst outcomes and the best outcomes in a little bit. I'm just giving you guys more background. Okay, we're going to get there. Hold on. Why doesn't your title also point out the ICC is also pursuing Hamas? Because that's not a very interesting part of this conversation. Hamas is already considered a terror organization. The International Criminal Court pursuing a terror organization that is outside of American interests, outside of the American sphere of influence, is not unique, is not news. Dog bites man is not news. Man bites dog, that's fucking news. Why isn't the United States a member of the ICC or the Rome Statute? Because we do war crimes a lot. And we also literally have it in our law. We have it within our legal framework to actually invade Netherlands if they ever do choose to prosecute us. You know, you already have a bunch of psychopathic American congresspersons already threatening the International Criminal Court. Yet another day of America bad with Hassan. We are surely having a real hard time shaking off the narrative that we are the bad guys. America doesn't recognize the International Criminal Court, but the court sure as hell will recognize what happens when you target our allies. What's the difference between ICC and ICJ? ICC prosecutes people for war crimes. ICJ is an international court of justice where states can prosecute other states.
In relation to this current stage of investigations, the charges that we've put forward to the judges do not include genocide, but we are continuing to investigate. It's a very complex situation. We've not been allowed access into Gaza by the Israeli authorities. We're also continuing our investigations in relation to the Hamas attacks, and if and when the evidence points us in a particular direction, we will not hesitate to act. So it's still an active investigation, but yes, today we haven't.
What is extermination?
It's mass killing.
Different than genocide?
Yes. Genocide is defined by specific intent, not only killing, but an intention to destroy the group in whole or in part. So it's a specific intent to destroy the group in whole or in part. So we have not included in our application today.
And we're discourse for genocide? Bro, he's a lawyer. This is the only fucking part. He's a prosecutor. The only part in which, like, the semantics bullshit actually plays a role is that there is no current real decision. We all know that what Israel is doing is genocidal, but the ICJ court process has not moved along to come to that conclusion. As a prosecutor, he can't come across as partial in this process. If he were to fucking chirp like you or I and be like, what Israel is doing is genocide, and we're gonna fucking take these genocidal monster fascists to court and we're gonna take them down, then yeah, everyone would be like, the fuck are you saying? They have to play this song and dance. It's kind of funny to get mad at him in this circumstance when he's like engaging in legalese. Like, his actions are what you need to focus on rather than the way he is conducting himself. his actions are very much against American interests in this circumstance. And that's precisely why, as we will get to inevitably after this conversation,